And then I feel really alone with everything.
Because I have no model
The son of an alcoholic.
of successful relationships and have him like close to me.
You're letting me be here for you.
Did you get hurt, Teale? You come here to me. Welcome back, everyone, to the Come Here to Me podcast with myself, Figs.
And Teale.
Yeah, we're really excited to be back doing a full episode of the Relationship Experts Walk the Talk series, right? But it's basically where Teale and I talk about our relationship and then whatever we're like musing on, wrestling on about relationships.
And issues, annoyances,
Well, exactly.
positive.
Yeah, with each other, right?
Within our relationship.
Happens. Exactly. So here's the thing. The inspiration for recording today is, Teale, you came up with a brilliant idea, I thought, to bring in the new year for us. And for once, I stopped you just doing it and us having a conversation
You
right
gave
there
me
and
blue
then.
balls. Let's be honest.
Wow.
I was so excited, you guys. We were in the hot tub. I was like, I was so sweet. I was like dewy and sweet in my body armor in the hot tub, and you were
Dewy and
naked.
sweet blue balls. Like, where are we going with this? I'm 51. I don't get blue balls anymore. Like, what are you talking about?
Goals,
Like
2023
goals,
for
exactly.
you.
More whatever medicine gives you that.
Wow.
Okay. We've gone down a dark path. I'm really sorry, a blue path. Okay, but so here's the thing. You had these questions that you wanted to ask, and I thought they were really sweet. You know, we were going to ask each other. So let's do them now.
Okay.
With an audience.
Just to say, Fig stopped me, and so I've been waiting for like 24 hours to hear.
So let's do it.
Okay. The question I had for you just came spontaneously to me as I said, I wanted to know like what you think my best quality is.
So very.
It sounds weird now.
But look, I am in so much admiration that you could even ask such a question. I can't imagine ever like feeling like good enough inside myself that I would ask you, tell me something you like about me, right? I'm not only like about me, like what's the best thing about
me? Like a great,
great. But look, I think it's great. So let me take his question seriously. Right?
Yeah, I actually.
What is your best quality?
I'm ready.
It's your dance moves. No. You know, I think your best quality is your enthusiasm. Just how enthusiastic and positive you are. Like really, like, and I remember this from the first moment I met you, and pretty much every day since, right? That you're just like, you wake up 99% of the day is just like, hello, let's do this. Yay. Right. And but it's really lovely to be around, right? Like and I know I've said this to you many times, but you just make my life, the kids' life, and pretty much everyone you meet, our neighbors.
I'm glad you said our neighbors, because
you do. You improve everybody's life with your positivity and enthusiasm, which I just.
It's very nice.
Well, it's brilliant.
I feel like it was worth the wait. Wow.
Well, I mean, I really appreciate it about you.
Well, that's very nice. That's a great quality in myself. If I
what is it like to hear?
It feels really good. Like I just feel seen and recognized. I mean, I think you're giving me like several compliments all at once.
Our dog's
really excited that we're excited.
Feeding her time 10 minutes. Oh shoot. Our dog may be in this podcast because she's supposed to be fed right now. But go on. Tell me more.
It feels good. And it feels good that you think that it's a very sweet and admirable question to ask someone, like to say, what's a good quality. So I feel like I'm getting like double duty.
Yeah.
Appreciation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting one, right? Like, one of the things I do as a therapist, I look for where someone might have a nourishment barrier. So you want to actually find the questions that would be hard for someone to answer, right? So for me, like that, that would be a good question to ask you, like if I was going to try and access you more deeply,
Yeah.
like emotionally.
Mhm.
But for me, it's like me ask you, tell me what my best quality is. It's probably even a richer question for me because it makes me want to explode.
Like for me to say about you what I think.
Well, just being asked the question and like,
Yeah.
like hearing, what's good about me. Oh my God, our kids are coming now. We're actually going to let them be on. Come here. Kian, come here.
We're downstairs.
Zephyr wants to be fed. What do you want?
What doesn't he want?
Unbelievable.
iPad.
5.
That's all he wants. So listen, you think, the study of asking this question.
Bye,
Listen,
Kian.
He's gone.
Son's gone.
I also have another question that's part of this.
Okay.
All right. So the second question, listen, I'm not as optimistic as you think. Like, I think I really was in a place of like, what's a great quality? But I had the polarity on the other side of that for myself. I wasn't just like, let me just hear what's good about me. I was thinking like, I always think about like death and that existential piece of like, what kind of feedback do I need in my life right now? Believe me, I'm giving myself plenty of feedback. I get feedback from the world, but like, what's the piece of feedback that I'm probably getting that's hardest for me to integrate? And from the person that I love more than anything, I feel like me, like you're legit my best friend. We've been together for 10 years. Like, what my best quality is.
Yeah.
And you love it about me.
I love
that. Makes me feel so good. And you know my worst qualities.
What's the question?
And so
you're gonna ask? Am I really gonna get a chance to answer this?
Yeah, you've been like you're foaming at the mouth.
It's exciting.
What's the thing that I need to work on the most in my life? Like, what's my greatest failing? Well,
let me just do a very important, like, before I answer the question. If you and your partner are actively in a negative cycle, which we talk about on the show, you're not feeling securely bonded, do not be giving each other feedback. Do not ask nor answer questions about what is my failing or what do I need to work on. Bad idea. Yeah, this was a totally de-escalated moment. Were Figs and I fully de-escalated earlier that day, by the way? No, but we were in a fully de-escalated moment. When you first brought it up, and we are now, and we're couples therapists, but in general, giving each other feedback, it's an important thing to talk about. I'm not a big fan of feedback in relationships. In general, it's a bad idea. We could talk more about that later, but okay. Specifically with you, because we're going to go for it. What do you need to work on the most? What's my greatest, what's my... We're going to be bad now. I'm going to do everything I say we shouldn't do with each other. Our dog is we still didn't feed Zephyr. Oh, look at her. I think she's deranged. Yeah. So, Zephyr, please. Okay. So I'm scared. You, in your enthusiasm and excitement for life, you are not a very good judge about when you're actually going to get overwhelmed by what you're doing and all the things you plan to do in a day and the impact that level of enthusiasm can have on me, the kids, your mom, even myself and yourself. Actually, yeah. What am I talking about? Right. So let me give you an example. As recently, right. This is just really annoying, right? We actually, Teale and I, it was really annoying, right? That we actually planned this date on Christmas Eve, right? We had this date where we actually got to go paddling in our one-person canoes, and we got to see, we saw whales, we saw sharks, we were riding waves. It was amazing. Fish. 2 hours, full on. So we get out of the water at 9 a.m. I discover at 9 a.m. Teale has arranged to meet 3 other families, her mother, her ex-stepdad, right? And she had agreed to give these 3 families lessons. That was actually impromptu. That was impromptu. Well, so all of a sudden you had agreed to give or volunteered. Sounds really you were teaching people how to outrigger canoe. which meant,
It's really fun.
well, it was really fun, but I had just completed 9 miles and then I had to go back out because I couldn't leave these people that had never been in a canoe before, like Hooli, like go over and not have someone with them. But so look, it was just like, it was overwhelming for you. It was overwhelming for the kids. The kids that hadn't eaten, like it was just,
yeah.
So look, everything is a double-edged sword in life.
No.
Everything.
No,
it is unbelievable
true.
how enthusiastic you are. And I love it. I love it. I love it. We get to do more stuff than we ever would do. I would ever do in my life if you weren't this way. And it does also come often with like, for flip's sake, woman, like calm your knickers down and just like, you know, like let's do one thing in the morning, not try and fit in 10 things. Yeah, there you go. I'll shut up because that was fun. That was really fun.
Oh, well, it's somehow just maybe because we're de-escalated and it's like making it funny and you said something so nice that it's not landing in some terrible way. And I really feel it about myself. And, you know, I feel the longing for like serenity and slowing down and, you know, less chaos. And I'm really just on a mission to gather people and, okay, let's everyone go out and you take a turn. And so it's like I get away from myself. But, you know, I wanted to say, like, I think this is so interesting, right? Like it's the good part, but it's also the flip side, like you said, that double-edged sword, which
anything, you know, I say all the time, anything in a large enough dose is a poison.
Yes.
Even enthusiasm.
Yeah. And I think that overwhelm that I can bring to you and myself is then I can have less capacity for the fine details that are actually really important. So I think there's a lot of spin-offs to this.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Thinking about it. And listen, I'm in a generous spirit right now at the end of the year, you know, just in terms of, you know, intentions, and I try not to give myself too much. Like I do want to drink more water and
wow. I'm really glad the listeners know.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah, it's really good. No, more water.
More water, please. But yeah, it's I think just attachment wise between us, right? It feels good, and I wanted to know, so I was really hungry to.
Hey, listen, look, this is amazing quality. Let me just say, like, one obviously huge win. Teale is so enthusiastic and so good at bringing people together. One of our neighbors took all of their excess Christmas lights, which there's a lot, and completely decked out our house with lights. Like really unbelievable. Now we're getting like our neighbors are coming up like this. Your house is so beautiful. I love what you did. I didn't. I think I carried a step ladder up from the back garden. Right. So like, and that is all down to you making contacts and being so friendly and warm.
Boom, so we get like, Christmas lights.
We got Christmas lights in our house and we did nothing. Right. Or at least I did. Hold on. I gotta feed Zephyr.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Home again, little piggies.
Even though you didn't even notice a gap, did you? And so let's do it. I literally, I don't know if I even want to hear the answer to this, but I'll ask you. Okay. What a question. What is my best quality? What is my best quality? Tell me your favorite thing. If I say it's hard for me to ask it seriously. Tell me what you think. What is my best quality? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what my best quality is. Very vulnerable.
Like we could just process this moment for you for a really long time.
We could.
But we're not. We're going to listen to me. Because I got some things to say about it. Okay. So best quality is Figs, you're like the most just dedicated, creative, just straight up the most creative person I've ever met. I've met some weird Santa Cruz artists, San Francisco hippies, cool vans, cool splatter art. Bottom line, creative to your bone. And it comes across in a million ways. Highly focused, highly obsessed,
Okay, wait. I thought you were staying on the positive.
It is. Well, yeah, it's just like that dogged determination. And like you dream, like I'm like, what are we eating for dinner? You're like, let's go to the moon. I'm just like,
I do.
where did your brain, like, where did you come from? Literally, like, what kind of creature are you? You have aspirations and thoughts and creativity and focus, and then you like get down to work. You are a highly determined, nuts and bolts, like 100% of your organism is dedicated to your process and your project, and then you dream big and then you make that shit happen.
Oh, thank you. But let me just here's what I'll tell you what comes up. It's hard for me. I don't think of myself as a creative person. Like, I gotta be honest. Like, so it's just a little bit, it's almost confusing, right? Like, if I be honest, like you're saying, like, I'm so creative. It's not like it even touches a place like, oh, I feel seen.
I know, because I think we have human beings, we have too narrow of a definition of what creativity is, right? Like, it doesn't mean like just the bell bottoms with the beautiful flowers on them.
Right. Or painting, which, let's face it.
Yeah, but
I'm a
like
little challenged on the painting front.
Well, listen, what I'm saying with this really has to do with your visions around our business and where we can go, and ideas and growth and bigness.
Right.
But your creativity comes through in ways that completely are not, business related. They come down to fashion. Figs is literally like
weird.
No, Figs is weird.
And we live in Hawaii.
Stop, please stop.
Go on.
Please stop. Like, you have beautiful ideas around design. You're a designer, and you do have ideas around, design from one spectrum to the other. And so it comes through from fashion to designing a room to how art could look to how writing looks. And then in the sort of expansive business, that's where you really like you get your wheels flowing in our work. But I get to see all these things that other people don't get to see, which have to do with the ways that your creativity come through. Also with our kids. Right?
Yeah. Well, no, thank you. I like that. And just as you were saying, I would say the place, if it's not it, like, I'm gonna be so bold, that I'm most creative is in therapy sessions. Yeah. Because like I gotta meet the moment completely wherever like a couple or an individual's at, and come up with the right analogy, metaphor, intervention that'll actually help them drop into their feelings or express their feelings or really have a drop of like meaning. And so I do think I am very creative at being truly immersed in the present moment, and then using just access to what is the right creative action to take in a moment.
Absolutely.
But and I am actually quite proud of that part, right? When it comes to improvising. I think that's why I love being a therapist, to be honest, because it's so pure.
It's not like theater, like you're making it up, but it's like the gestalt of the moment. It's like you're taking from so many different pools, and just like a chef, right? Like organizing what would be right.
Exactly.
These ingredients.
Just, so that feels really good. And I love that I get to practice my creativity as a therapist, as a business, but I always feel business is like, what do you call it? It's not as pure as the creative form that is being an experiential psychotherapist, like creating, crafting experiences for people's hearts. Right? Like,
there's a pressure on it for business that can feel like a ceiling, but I guess I get to watch you organize around that and continue to like tap into that like deep channel inside of yourself. So that's what I see.
No, thank you.
And
it's very nice.
You're welcome. And of course it actually, do you want to ask me the second question?
Wait, the second question then is, what do you think I have to work on the most?
Yeah.
Right? That's the second
Yeah.
one. Right. What do I have to work on the most?
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun, isn't it?
Not now.
Not now.
God, what do I have to work on?
Yeah, well, it really is like I was thinking, oh, could I like pull something from over here that's not related? But the reality is the thing that is most challenging for you is also that blessing. Like it's that flip side, right? Like that hyper obsessiveness with figs. And like, listen, it's gonna be work, it's gonna be therapy, it's gonna be, paddling. Bitcoin, it's
in its time, yeah.
Through whatever it's going to be. And so I think our relationship, at least on my end, has become much healthier because I really understand that. Like, I know it's going to happen. It's not like oh, I've accepted this and it's terrible. It's like,
yeah, so you're saying, but sorry, just to make sure I understand, you're saying like the thing that so being creative is good, but then I get obsessive. And so what I have to work on, so what is it? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, listen, just slowing down and smelling the flowers that are outside of the tunnel vision of productivity and vision, and you're kind of single focused. Right. And so just the of course, there's a lot of creativity in that single focus, right? Yeah. But like, I'm like, hey, come over here. And probably like, I'm the kind of ADD of like, look, I like this and I like this and come over here and do this. Right. And you're part of what makes you so awesome is you're going for this huge and singular vision. Yeah. And so I've gotten lonely for you. Right. Sometimes. So I think it's been a cycle. What I was doing, bringing it back to our cycle, was feeling like I could take it personally, like get focused on me, like get focused on. So, but wait a second. I just want to make sure, and this is probably, it's just, I want to make sure I'm really getting the feedback on what I need to work on. So the good thing is a creative, and then what I need to work on, because I don't know if I'm just struggling to track it. Like, what is it that you think I have to most work on? Well, I think you need to work on slowing down and taking in like the present moment. Got it. That it's outside of the tunnel vision. Right. And for you, that encompasses things like self-care and I don't want to go through all the things that I think it impacts, but I do think I can forgo self-care, right? Yes. Right. When I'm obsessing and working hard on something. So this was good when what I was obsessed about was paddling, because it was actually good for me in other ways. It was. And was it less triggering for me at times? No. Right. And that doesn't mean that you're going to do it and I want you to do it. And I'm 100% behind you. Race season starts again in 43 months or something. Something like that. Right. Exactly. I'm so excited for you. But, no, listen, that makes sense, right? It's harder for me to be present because I get obsessive on whatever it is that I'm passionate about, interested in that moment. And it usually has some kind of drive. It's not just I'm obsessed about and thinking about it neutrally. Like I have this drive to get better at it. And so it really impacts my level of presence in just the everyday moments, because my mind is likely to wander to whether it's the business, whether it's podcasting, right? Yeah. Or whether it's paddling. So that makes sense. I need to work on being present. Yeah. Even you using the word like wander, I'm like, when have you friggin' wandered? Like you're like straight line to that thing. So right. But I hear you and you're taking it in, and it's just interesting, right? Like it's the things that are the blessing and the curse, and it's great. It's just good to know this stuff when we're like this age, instead of being like, what do you think I was supposed to work on? Just like, shit, there's no more time. Like we got some time, I think. Even if we've got a day, we could work on this. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I totally, we're therapists, right? And I always like, you can't, as great as it is what we do, if you could bottle up
the value of eating well and exercising, right? Eat well, exercise, sleep,
Yeah.
right? And so that's kind of my goal, right? I just think I'm better at being present if I sleep well, eat well, and exercise, right? Like, because obviously, the whole feeling your feelings, talking about your feelings, like I do it all the time. But like, just they're the three things. It sounds so simple, but I want to be really disciplined about that.
Awesome. I'm glad that the listeners know that about you now.
You want to drink more water?
Yeah. Thanks for breaking it down.
Exactly.
No, really. That's
okay.
Good.
Well, here, listen, thank you. That was a bit different than how we normally talk to each other. So
listen, key takeaways. We will be back, and don't necessarily go do this with your partner, right?
Unless you're feeling unbelievably close to each other and safe.
Yeah. If you guys are feeling really, really de-escalated and you're kind of like, look, you could say something really shitty to me and I probably know what you're going to say to me because, listen, you've actually given me feedback before in fights, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of interesting to get feedback from a connected place when you're not in a fight, when you're actually feeling kind of grounded and integrated in yourself, and you're feeling kind of grounded and integrated with your partner. Like it becomes, building blocks for great things.
Sure.
So feel it out in yourself. Maybe give yourself some loving feedback, what you think you're kicking ass at, where you think you can improve, right? If you feel wild, take a spin with your sweetie.
Yeah. Very good. See,
and if not, don't.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. And it's really good to be back, together, Teale, you and I, and recording podcast. And we will see you drop into your inboxes soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.